Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond Life Paranormal Podcast. I'm your host, Russell Reynolds, and we're here on a Sunday night. We just got back home from the Rock Island Roadhouse Esoteric Expo. It was an awesome event. Over 2,300 people showed up for this event, and it was it was a pretty good event. Um, Say hi to a couple people. Hi, Sandy. Welcome in. So tonight we're going to talk about recap Rock Island and how the day went with everybody, and we've got some events we're going to talk about that we're going to be at, and we've got an announcement to make before the show ends. This is a pretty cool one, a pretty big one for us as well. So, um, so yeah, we're gonna get into it. First off, we'd like to thank Candy Slater, Lisa Veneer, Rob and Sarah from Get Haunted for the invite to the Rock Island Esoteric Expo. We had a ball, especially being out there with our family in the Warrens Occult Museum. Like I said, we had 2,300 plus people come through this Paracon, one to see Annabelle and to see all the amazing vendors and teams that were out there. We got to meet a lot of them. Some of them I know from being a guest on my podcast, and my dad and I would also like to thank everybody too for coming out and showing their support for this. Hey Sherry, thanks. We left about 8:30 this morning. Got here about 1:30 this afternoon. Headed out early. Said goodbye to our family this morning. Our family Wade and the rest of them. They're getting ready to hit the road and head back to Connecticut as well. Annabelle is going back to the Warrens Occult Museum for about a week, and then she's back on the road again. Hey, Joe, welcome in. Um, but yeah, the Rock Island Paracon was awesome. Got to meet Aaron from 28 Days Haunted, who was a guest on my podcast. Got to finally meet Rob from Ghost Gear. Him and I had talked years ago, video chat. Um, Met my buddy Ken 10 Paranormal out of Tennessee, um, and several other amazing teams out there, equipment builders. There's a lot to name. There's uh, Patty Negri, who also I know, next of kin paranormal, Ryan Dayton, paranormal theory there. My buddy Bill Bryan, I got to actually take a tour of his talking board museum. Some of the boards he's got in there are amazing, and some of the ones that he makes are pretty cool. And he gave me a little history tour on the origins of the Ouija boards and all the different styles and stuff. So if you ever get a chance, hit him up and whenever he's out and check out that his talking board museum. That was actually pretty interesting and learning the history behind it all. He's even got a my cousin Vincent Price's Ouija board in there that he custom made. He made a Rock Island one that has Al Capone on it and Looney the gangster, and we got to actually, my dad and I did got to actually eat dinner in Looney's old bar there in Rock Island, Illinois, which was pretty cool. It was right across the street from the hotel. Um, and Hey, Shelly and Richie, welcome in. We're recapping Rock Island. Um, like I said, we had 2,300 people come in. I mean, it was just mobbed. We try to eat lunch, and as quick as we get a bite in, we've had people on us like crazy. And seeing a guy there that actually he builds his own REM pods, and he makes them out of all these stuffed animals. And I mean, there's ones he showed me one that was pretty cool. That actually you push the button and it sits there and dances and stuff. And another group, they do kind of like wood burning boxes of REM pods and their equipment that they make. And got to finally meet Chris Smith in person from Haunted Horror Road Trips on YouTube, and he's the owner of Get Haunted Midwest. Um, so yeah, he was pretty cool. The Warrens Occult Museum was packed. Um, we went in there when we got there Friday to say hi to everybody, and they were still setting up the museum. Annabelle was there. They've had the monkey head was there. They had the Conjuring mirror. Um, the Amityville horror keychain from the Amityville house. Um, and they had two memorials for my cousin Dan Rivera, which was pretty emotional. But dude, whoever made them, you did an awesome job, and us as family, thank you for that. Got to see Father Bob. That man's awesome. Ryan Buell, he was there as well. Got to hang out with him and talk with him for a bit. Black Lantern Paranormal Society out of Gettysburg, they were helping out in the Warrens Occult Museum. Um, just seeing Candy Slater, the rest of the crew, the Get Haunted crew, Trevor and all those guys. Um, Joe and Dom from Next of Kin. Squatch Man, finally got to meet him in person, and Denise and Ernie Pack. So my dad and I, we all got to meet all those guys, and Squatch Man's pretty cool. Some of the evidence he had, like Bigfoot hair, he had some castings and stuff like that. Bill Bryan actually had a casting of a Bigfoot. Also, the Paraflix people were pretty cool, and just everybody in general that came down, and all the other teams too that came down, checked it out. My dad and I signed well over 350 autographs yesterday of people. There were some of them that actually really touched our hearts too, because there were several special needs people that were there that were fans of my family, the Warrens. So they actually went up, seen Annabelle, got in the museum, got autographs from all the guys, and they all went out and bought shirts and posters and stuff. Had all the guys sign them, and then they came down to us, and we got to sign them. And we were the actual blood relatives that were actually there for the Warrens, because Tony Sparrow couldn't make it, and Judy couldn't make it. So I heard Annabelle pulled her stunt with the lights. Ah, yeah, she did the lighting on the camera when they were on the news. I did see the video of that. Yeah, she did. But you know how Annabelle is. But that was Friday before they had it really under control, because they were still setting up, kinda. So they did like a makeshift blessing of it, but because nobody was allowed in the actual museum on Friday. So, but yeah, she did. Um, and those guys actually slept there in the museum with the artifacts overnight. I know Rick did. I think Father Bob did. I know Ryan did. Um, their one new member, he slept there too. Because Rick showed me where he slept. He slept in the chair there, and I asked Rick. I said, "Did you experience anything?" And he said, "Yeah, we were hearing footsteps up above upstairs, and there was nobody upstairs, and the rest of us were all at the hotel, so nobody was in the building at that time. They were hearing this stuff, and so." But yeah, Annabelle did. She made the lights. She wanted to make herself known. That's probably just Annabelle's way of saying, "Hey, I'm here." And there was a lot of pictures. Got to see him. The one special needs kid. He, yeah, Ryan. Ryan did sleep He did. He slept between Annabelle and the shadow doll because he roll over to one side, there's Annabelle looking at him. He rolls over to the other side, and there's the shadow doll. And so he didn't get very much sleep. I know Rick didn't. Those guys didn't get very much sleep. I know that. But yeah, the special needs kid, he came down and he brought a shirt down. We signed it for him, and you could tell he's probably only like 15. And he actually wanted to get a picture with us. We told him, "Yeah, sure, you can get a picture with us." And to see the smile on that kid's face, just to see that he that made his day that he got to meet the Warrens family and he got pictures and got to see Annabelle. So that was actually cool. That made our day. That makes us love what we do. And then we had another special needs guy that he investigates, and he come down. He was talking to us, and he actually went up to see Annabelle. He got some posters signed, and he came down, got our autograph, got a picture with us as well, and so yeah, it was a fun day. We enjoyed it. We had a ball. Even down in the basement where we were, it was packed down there, and I know they did an investigation afterwards. I've been hearing they got some good results from it. But we didn't do it. We were so exhausted, and because we're coming off back to back Paracon, so we were at a Paracon the weekend before, so at Bordertown Paracon, and so we went back to the hotel, um, and we had something interesting in our hotel room that was we were relaxing, watching TV. All of a sudden, we see this flash that looked like a camera flash, and we hear a loud snap. Get up, look for it. Thought maybe electrical or something. Couldn't find nothing. Now this went on again last night, and now mind you, we were in the Warrens Occult Museum most of the day Friday with our family, and so we couldn't debunk it. Tried to figure out what it was. We thought maybe possibly it was the GFI in the bathroom because it had two little night lights on both sides of it, but I can never find it out. My dad thought maybe that's what it was because he was in the bathroom there and he said he seen the flash. And I know we met this one lady that's she's a paranormal group. She's also a metal detection. She does metal detection. She showed me some of her artifacts that she picked up. She picked up a mini cannonball about this big, and she was showing it to me, and it had you could feel the energy off of it that something was attached to it, and so she was telling me she was running her spirit talker in the hotel room, and it was saying stuff, and even down in the Rock Island, the damn veneer furniture, we were experiencing stuff down there in the basement. We had the guy behind us that builds the REM pod stuffed animals. They were going crazy all day. He had them sitting on the table, and they were just randomly sounding off. Uh, my equipment, we had it on the table. My I had two cat balls on the table. They were going crazy, and nobody was moving them. My millimeter batteries just died from it because they got drained. My dad got tapped on the shoulder down there because when we packed up, my dad stayed down to guard my equipment. They had my car blocked in, so I went out to go see if I could move my car, and I couldn't. So I had a new artifact for the Warrens Occult Museum. So I went down and brought that, got it out of my car, and I brought it into the Warrens Occult Museum. So it is getting put in the museum back in Connecticut. Um, this object was actually taken from a location that we did a private residence, and the guy was using it in demonic worshiping, and he conjured up something in his house. And you probably heard about me talk about this case in Oklahoma a few times on podcasts. It's also in my book, um, and that's the case that I ended up with the 3 scratches down my arm. And so that is now in the Warrens Occult Museum along with our haunted dolls as well. Um, and But all in all, it was a good Paracon. They invited us to come back next year. We're gonna go back next year because we had a ball. Being this is the last time that the Warrens Occult Museum is going to be on the road. Um, Annabelle is done. She's got one more stop, and then she's done. They are not traveling anymore with the objects. Um, they This was Dan's wishes. Dan would have wanted them to finish the tour, so that's what they're doing. And her last stop is Scarefest in Lexington, Kentucky. That's where she's going next. So if you want to see Annabelle, that's the last time you're going to see her. She is, from what I was told, she is going into a commercial museum. They are going to be opening up a commercial museum probably next year, and that's where you'll be able to see all the Warrens occult artifacts, including our stuff. Um, so that'll be a good thing. Um, the house is, from what I was told, the house is coming along good. Uh, they still been going through stuff. They've been working nonstop on it, and so. But yeah, that's the last time the Devil's on the Run tour will be on the road. So, um, with the objects. But you may see Nesper still out and about, so um, never say never. But we're still going to be out there as family of the Warrens, keeping the legacy alive, and we'll keep going with their names and carrying it out there, um, like we always do. So there's still some of us family of the Warrens still out there going on. So, but yeah, all in all, it was a good event, and we look forward to it again next year. They even had the Ghostbusters car from Iowa out there. There was a guy that had the Ecto one. They were all dressed in the Ghostbusters outfits. Had a statue of Slimer, and um, got to meet Nick Mule for the first time. Him and I have been friends on Facebook for years since I even started a group, and he's always shown us support. And he finally got to meet him in person yesterday, and my dad and I got to meet him, and he was a pretty cool guy too. He does a lot of support for us paranormal investigators, and he's a firm believer in para-unity. That's what he's known for as well. Got to meet another guy yesterday. He's on the All Access TV network with Gwen, and he was talking to us. And you want to feel that his abilities. He come up to us, and he was talking to us, and most of you know my dad and I have abilities as well from our NDEs, and he came up and talked to us, and he was held my hand like this, and he stood back, and you could feel him go like this, and you could feel his energy moving up and down your hand without him even touching you. and was pretty cool. Met a lady next to us that she was selling some like taxidermy stuff that her brother-in-law makes, and some stones and all that stuff. And she was there talking to us as well. And my dad told her, "You're gonna come into some money." And she she was selling stuff like crazy yesterday, sitting by us. And the REM pod guy, he was selling some. He had this like dog looking ghost dog on a REM pod with a handle that you could walk it, carry it out in front of you, so your body's not anywhere near the REM pod; it's out in front of you, which was pretty cool. And he'll be a guest on my show. I'm gonna get him on the show. We'll talk about his equipment building. I'm gonna have Rob from Ghost Gear on, and met another team that's on Paraflix, Tets. He was a pretty cool guy. He's going to be a guest on the show too, as well. Met another group out of St. Louis, Missouri. Um, that was there, and the one lady that stayed at the hotel that does the metal detecting. She was pretty cool. She had fun getting after my dad and stuff because we were wearing our legend shirts, and she wanted the shirt and all kinds of stuff. And got done with Paracon, went to eat in the ale house, which is right off our hotel. And some of the Paracon people were in there too. And there was people that actually drove in from Chicago to actually see Annabelle. And so they got to see Annabelle for the first time, and they got to meet us yesterday and last night in the restaurant, and was talking to us. And so, but yeah, that place is pretty active in energy and stuff like that. We had one guy and his wife come up to us. She had bought a haunted doll yesterday, and she brought it down. We were checking it out, and it had some energy attached to it. We didn't feel anything negative. So, and her husband was a skeptic. He didn't believe in any of this stuff, and so I sent him to Bill over there at the Talking Board Museum, because he had a like a tent set up so you can go in and actually do Estes, and he does the Gansfield experiments and stuff like that. So I said, go over there and try that. I guarantee you'll walk out a believer. So he went. Bill was telling me they came in there. The wife tried it. She loved it, and she said to her husband, "You're a skeptic. You need to get in there." So he went in there, and they did something a little different. Instead of, your traditional spirit boxes, you got the white noise and the radio coming through. Well, they did the white noise and the CE5 stuff, which is like the alien chatter. They did that, and they said when the guy came out, he was white as a ghost, and he was sitting there shaking because he was scared, and that turned him from skeptic to believer. And so, but yeah, it was fun meeting Paranormal Theory as well in person. Him and I've talked on Facebook quite a bit, so I actually got to meet him in person. And some people couldn't make it that we were gonna meet, but uh, there's always next time. Um, so all in all, it was a good event, and we look forward to it again. And they had food trucks out there, like 3 food trucks. There was like a hibachi grill one, and then there was another one that does like between Mexican and American food. There was a cake truck out there. There was one that does these special coffees and teas, and I know there was the news was all out there all over. They were filming everything, even in the parking lot. We had people filming everything throughout the Paracon, downstairs, upstairs, and we actually just got booked for several more podcasts, so we're waiting to hear back from them. They're gonna get us on their shows and stuff, and just got booked for some more Paracons as well. So that's that's gonna be fun. Um, and but like I said, we signed well over 350 autographs yesterday between Ed and Lorraine Warren shirts, posters. We've signed. Uh, I signed somebody's phone case yesterday. Uh, somebody's purse, and their pictures. A lot of them had me sign my business cards for them and stuff like that. Several people got pictures with us. Sounds like you had a great time. Yeah, we did. We had a real great time, and it was a lot of fun. And the cool thing is, everybody came together as a community. There was no drama. Like some paracons you see, there's drama, there's egos. There was none of that there, and that was the cool part. Everybody came together to make a great Paracon Expo, and there was a lot of great results. People were talking about it. As you probably saw, we were tagged in posts and stuff like that as well. And again, we thank Candy Slater, Lisa Veneer, Rob, and Sarah from Get Haunted for the invite, and we thank everybody else for coming out. All 2,300 plus of you that check us all out, and especially showing support to Nesper and our family and Ryan Buell as well, and Father Bob, and just seeing Father Bob again. Him and I, we could talk for hours. I love Father Bob, and some of you may not know him. Father Bob Bailey was on Paranormal State with Ryan Buell. I've had him as a guest on my podcast. I am one of his students. I am actually studying demonology under Father Bob Bailey and Sister Farrah Rose Perry, which used to be Sister Farrah Rose Deal, and Father Bob is Sister Farrah Rose's spiritual director. So study under both of them, and if I have a problem or any questions, I call either one of them, and they're right there to answer. I did see a couple questions last night on my replay about the museum. Yes, they still do have a priest come in there once a week and bless the museum. Father Bob does it. As you probably seen some of Ryan Buell's videos, Father Bob blessing the museum and binding everything so everybody was safe when they entered into the Warrens Occult Museum yesterday. And so it was pretty good going in there too, and seeing our family again. We haven't seen them since Gettysburg, and it was a great time, and met a lot of great friends, met a lot of great people, and some of them already follow us, knew who we were, so that was pretty cool. The one team that was behind us, they actually knew who we were. They actually followed us. They follow us on TikTok, and so I'll be having them as a guest on my podcast as well. They're the ones that make the wood burning looking cabinets for music boxes and stuff like that. They make their own music boxes. Got to meet a guy and a girl from Greece, and they're a big fan of my family's, and they were staying at the same hotel we were at. Very awesome people. Um, he was filming for everybody, his family back in Greece and stuff, and the rest of his team. And he brought me down one of his homemade REM pods that he made, and showed me how it worked and everything. And he did a real awesome job at making it and stuff. And he loves Annabelle, and he come down, was looking at my equipment and stuff, and him and I actually got to know each other pretty good. Him and his other team member, and we'll be on. He'll be on our podcast, and we're gonna be on his podcast as well. So that's gonna be a fun one too. And I know they did the investigation afterwards, and so yeah, it was all in all, it was a good time. We're only gonna do an hour tonight because we're exhausted, and I have to work again tomorrow night. So, but if anybody has any more questions, feel free to post them in the chat. And we're gonna plug a couple events also. The next time you can see us, will be here at the Marshall Cinema Haunted House on October 16th and 17th. We will be there both nights helping out. They ask us every year to come in and help out. I usually play a character in the haunted house, so and then we are doing a mini investigation afterwards with the Marshall Cinema staff. These guys, they put in a lot of hard work for this every year. Um, they they go all out, and I mean, Allie, Kim's daughter, and her friend Daniela, with all the decorations and the time and money they invest into it, it is an awesome. We usually get over 2,000 people that come through the door the first night. Last year it was, I think, over 2,500 come through the door the first night. Second night was over 1,200, and even the year before we had a lot. Um, so we'll be back out there again this year for both nights, and then scaring people. She does not charge. If you'd like to give a donation, feel free to give a donation. Um, but she doesn't charge to get into the haunted house. Um, grab yourself some popcorn when you're there too. She's got some awesome popcorn in that movie theater, and it is a good time. We always have a good time every time we do this haunted house with everybody and scaring people. And the first year I did it, they had me playing Michael Myers, and I was in there working inside. They had a whole Halloween setup, and they had like the sheets hanging, like you seen in the Halloween movie, where Michael would stand like behind the sheets and peek around and stuff like that. They had a statue of Michael Myers in there, so everybody kept thinking, because I didn't go the first night because I was still working then, and then I went to that Friday night, and so they had the statue in there the first night. Well, they didn't realize there was going to be a live Michael Myers in there the second night. So was in there, scared quite a few people. I mean, I had one guy cussing in Spanish because he come walking through. He seen the statue, but he didn't see me. Comes through the sheets, and there I am. I'm standing right there in front of him, and uh, these group of girls, they didn't want to come in, so I was like, "All right, I'll just step out in the aisle there." And I'm staring at him, and I do that Michael kind of head turn, which, if you know, watch the Halloween movies, Michael's kind of got that little head cock that he does like that, and that usually just scares the living daylights out of somebody. And so they finally come through after they're screaming, and I scare them. They go into the next room, and there's a girl from Ring, dressed as the girl from the Ring, coming out of the well in there, and so they had me go outside, work the line, and everybody seen Michael Myers walking up the streets of Marshall. These group of kids were walking down the sidewalk, and Daniela says to me, "You gotta scare them." I said, "Watch this." So they're not paying any mind. They're just walking, talking. I catch up to them, and I'm walking beside them, and I just turn like that and look at them, and they about jumped in the fire escape. And so I start working the line. And there's one girl, I could tell she was scared. So she was my first victim when it came to that. And she was like, "I'm not afraid of you." So I turned that head a little bit and started walking towards her. And she started to jump into the alley and ran right into Pennywise standing in the alley. And there was another girl, alls I had to do was just look at her, and she just immediately started bawling. And then a guy and his wife, they started he started pushing his wife towards me, like, for me to take her, and, I just kept looking at him and kept looking at him, and, so they went in, they come back out after they went through, and they're walking the streets, and he points at me, and his wife looks at me, and I take the fake butcher knife, and I point it at her. She says, "Oh, what the hell?" And she comes over and she takes a picture with me, and I'm behind her, and I got the knife kind of like this behind her, and her friend goes, "You just made my night." And so that was a fun first time I did it. We had a ball, and then the second year, same thing. They had me as like the skeleton bag head in a missing persons room, and these group of girls are peeking through the plastic like this, and they see me standing there, and I puff my chest out at them, and I just cock the head, and they start screaming. They don't want to come through, and they get trapped in there with me because the next guy behind me, he had this pumpkin head on and this spiked bat, and they had a makeshift body hanging from upside down, and he was sitting there hitting it with the bat and just pushing it, and they didn't want to go through, and then I'm right up on top of them, scaring them, and it was a fun time, and that's what it's all about. Yeah, that's what it's all about, and we don't touch nobody. We do jump scares, and a lot of times, even with the jump scares, after like the second night last year, they had a little narrow hallway that's maybe about this wide that you can go through, and they put me in there, and it's dark, and they put this girl in behind the fence that they made, and you can't see back in there. So they have the fire exit and the stairs. So I was standing up on the stairs, and I blended right in with the wall. And these people would come down through, not knowing that girl was in there. She let out this loud scream. They scream and they're focused on her, but they don't realize I'm right there. And then I just kind of peek out, and I'm standing above them, and I look down at them, and that would freak them out. And then the one guy, they had him dressed in like this black tight suit, and he was supposed to be like a black demon. He would crawl across the floor, so he'd run throughout the whole haunted house scaring people. He comes to me, he says, "There's a group of girls coming back through." He says, "I've been getting them all night." He says, "We need to get them." I said, "All right." So we see him come through, and he's on the floor in front of me. Well, they get up to where the girl is that screams. She screamed at him. They freaked, and they look down, they see this black figure crawling across the floor, and then I peek out at him, and that really got him. And so we're looking forward to this year. It's going to be it's gonna be a good one this year. Um, I'm not telling anybody who I'm playing this year yet. Y'all, y'all have to come figure that one out and see if you recognize me. So, but yeah, definitely. If you're in the area, come out to Marshall Cinema Haunted House for Halloween. Hey, Kim, welcome in. I used to have a haunted forest when my kids were growing up. We had 5 acres of woods and a creek that I would decorate. I had a family and friends that would be in the forest playing their part. Oh, nice. That was awesome. Oh, hey, Ryan. Welcome in. Ryan is part of CNR Paranormal. We met them yesterday. They are a part of Get Haunted Midwest also. With Chris Smith, the owner. Um, Great group of guys right there. They come down and they were talking to us. Got to see some of their evidence, listen to some of their EVP work that they do. Showed them some of my evidence and stuff. And they're a pretty cool group of guys right there. And definitely check out their stuff too. I'll get them on my podcast as well. Um, and it was interesting to actually talk with those guys too. Um, and So our next event, I've been listening in. Sounds like you've had a yeah, we did. We had a lot of fun at the Rock Island Paracon. Um, Being there with friends, family. Yep, Brian's with CNR Paranormal, and we had a ball. I mean, with over 2,300 people coming in, and just to see everybody and everybody coming together to make it work was awesome. And especially to make people's day when you get to sign they get to meet family of Ed and Lorraine Warren, and they get to see Annabelle and the Warrens Occult Museum and everybody that they're fans with that are on TV that were there, and even other paranormal teams that they follow, and actually get to meet them in person. Yeah, it was, Ryan. It was. Yeah, we can't wait till next year too. Next year's going to be good too. And just to see the amount of people and make people's day, especially them special needs kids that were there that enjoyed that and enjoy my family's movies and the Conjuring movies, and actually they actually get to come out and actually see the real Annabelle, and they got to see the Annabelle Comes Home doll in the museum. To see the smiles on their face, that's what it's all about, and to make their days and stuff like that. So that's what it does for us. I mean, that's why we love what we do. We love to educate. Like our autographs yesterday, we didn't charge nobody for autographs. We made it special for them. They came out all this way to see all of us, so we didn't charge them for any of that. So it was just a special thing for us and for them. And yeah, Lexington, Kentucky. Again, I'll post it up for. I don't know why that came up. Scarefest weekend is the last time you will be seeing Annabelle. That is her last stop for the Devils on the Run tour, and that's it. There is no more Devils on the Run tour. It is the end. Um, so make sure you get your tickets for that. I know it's pretty booked. Between all the movie actors that are going to be out there, there's other paranormal. I saw Tennessee Wraith Chasers are going to be out there. Mountain Monsters are going to be out there. The Ames team, they're going to all be out there. So Ryan Buell will be there. My family will be there. Yeah, I know, Sandy. But I mean, that was Dan's. Dan was the whole orchestrator of all that, and I mean, that was his wishes. They finished the tour out, but good things are coming. I mean, she's going to a big museum, and so you'll be able to go there and see her, still see her, and see all the artifacts. Some of the ones that didn't even get to go out on the road, you'll get to see, and which will be cool because then you can learn history about my cousins Ed and Lorraine Warren and the stuff, the cases and everything. So it'll be a good step in the Warrens' legacy to do that. And yeah, Sandy, I do too. And to see that memorial Friday and yesterday, that was emotional. So yeah, dude, see that museum when it gets done is going to be cool. Especially, like I said, we have artifacts in there, and they just got a new artifact from us last night. So, and it's headed back to Connecticut with Nesper. So, um, which is going to be cool. And they're handing it off to Elton and Matt to be put in the museum there. And so, even get to meet Rick Clark in person too. He was a guest on my podcast, and he was trained by both Ed and Lorraine. He's one of the original Nesper members with Wade, and it was cool to finally meet him in person. And I enjoyed talking with him too as well. And they were good friends of mine, especially Lorraine. Yeah, and that's the funny part of it with us with Ed and Lorraine. And we didn't find out till a few years ago that we were related. And I've been friends with Lorraine on Facebook since 2006. And so Lorraine knew there was a connection there somewhere. And I wish I would have been able to get to meet them. And I would have loved to learn a lot from those two and Ed. But I did a lot of research on them in my young paranormal career. I followed them and I started researching, reading on them and their cases. My dad, same thing. He followed Ed and Lorraine too. And to be related to the pioneers of the paranormal, it's incredible. And with us, we're going to keep their legacy alive, even though Nesper's going off the road. We're still going to continue to keep the tradition alive, keeping their name alive, keeping it out there. We're still one of the family members that are going to still be traveling, doing these shows, and talking about educating people and talking about Ed and Lorraine as well. So between myself and John Zaffis and that, we're all still out there, and some of the ones that even were part of the Nesper team are still out there as well too. So Patty Negri did a great seance. Oh, I bet I would love to go to one of her seances. I've never been to one, but I've always heard great results from Patty. That she does a real good seance. I know they did the investigation from like 8 to midnight, and then she took over on midnight doing her midnight seance. Yeah, I would love to sit in one of her seances, especially have equipment with it going too and see how much of that equipment gets set off too as well. Can you just imagine what would be coming through like spirit boxes and stuff during her seance? I just saw John a few weeks ago, and oh, Jimmy, Mr. Haunted. Yeah, I love Jimmy. He's hilarious. Yep, Jimmy Panito. Yeah, I wish I can get to a Paracon with him. We'd have a ball. And So before we get off here, another event that we are going to be at is we're going to be at Holiday Magic, a paranormal and craft bazaar. We will be there December 6th. Other people had a great time with the investigation, her seance. See, their reactions were great. Oh, that's awesome. So we're going to be at Holiday Magic Paranormal and Craft Bazaar. We are the VIP guests. We will be guest speaking there, so you can come on out. Listen to us talk about residential cases, our cases that we've worked. Talk about our cousins Ed and Lorraine. Be talking demonology stuff as well, and there will be an after hours paranormal investigation led by us. So you get to come out and investigate with the cousins of Ed and Lorraine Warren as well. So make sure you get your tickets. I think she's still looking for vendors, so if you're interested in vending, reach out to her. It's in Sandusky, Ohio, at the VFW out there. So come on out December 6th, see us. It's going to be a pretty good venue. And then we are booked for another one in April, Firelands. Um, we are booked again in October for uh yeah, it's in Ohio. This one is. Yeah, Grandster, this is live. We're back from Rock Island, so I figured I'd come on tonight and recap Rock Island Paracon and talking about some events that we're gonna be at. Yeah, Grandster, I'm live. Yeah, it'll be in Sandusky, Ohio. So you'll be able to come out and see us, investigate with us, talk to us. If you got something you want signed, bring it. We'll sign it for you. Like I said yesterday, my dad and I signed over 350 autographs yesterday. Uh, November 1st. No, we won't be doing that. No, we don't, because we were at Rock Island Paracon yesterday, so we just got home this afternoon. So I figured I'd jump on, recap the Rock Island Paracon that we were at, where Annabelle was and my family, and next Saturday we'll be back normal time. We'll be live next Saturday. So, oh, it went great. We had an awesome time. Signed over 350 autographs on the Warrens shirts, posters, and what? Oh, we learned a lot, quite a bit. There was a lot of people there between equipment builders and readers, and there was podcasters there, YouTubers, you name it. There was a lot of vendors there. Got to hang out with Nesper and Ryan Buell and everybody. Um, the whole Get Haunted crew, CNR Paranormal, who were part of Get Haunted Midwest, got to hang with the owner of Get Haunted Midwest, and it was just an all-out fun Paracon. And no, this was in Rock Island, Illinois. It was about 4 hours and 50 minutes from us, and it was at the old Rock Island Roadhouse, which is Dan Veneer Furniture now, and it's extremely haunted place, especially the basement. The basement was one of the most haunted areas of that building, and the guy had REM pods. They were going crazy. Plus, didn't help. We were right below the Warrens Occult Museum, and we were right just directly below it. And even my equipment was going off. I had the cat balls sitting on the table. They were going off. Um, the energy down there, you could feel it was a lot different. Um, I know my buddy Bill Bryan, some of his stuff was going off, and he was in the other side of the basement. That's where his talking board museum was down in there. And this place, I believe, has some connection to the mob as well. I believe, and so they it was all in all a good Paracon. We're gonna get ready to get off here because, like I said, we're exhausted, and before we go, we want to. Yep, John Looney. Yep, we just actually ate in John Looney's bar, which was right across the street from our hotel, and the one conference I wanted to tell you about was the Crossing Realms conference in Missouri, September 2025, Richmond. Okay, yep, I've heard of that one. You too, Kim. Thanks for coming in. Um, but before we get off, we want to make an announcement, and this is a big announcement. Um, and this is going to be awesome. We are now part of Get Haunted Midwest, with Chris Smith from Haunted Horror Road Trip. He owns Get Haunted Midwest, CNR Paranormal. So we'll all be investigating. You can come check out events. Go on Get Haunted Midwest on Facebook, and check out Get Haunted Midwest for all your tickets. And they go through extremeticketing.com, which is Get Haunted. We're not coming on until next year because of our busy schedule. So next year, when the calendar starts filling up, you'll be seeing us. Yeah, he does YouTube. He travels around, but he's kind of not like Sam and Kobe or anything. Chris isn't. He's more of a legit investigator when it comes to the paranormal. He's not jumping to everything. Oh, it's a demon. Oh, it's this. It's that. He's one of those. He's a debunker as well. So, and it's going to be a good time. We'll be investigating throughout the whole Midwest, doing events, and you can come and investigate with us, CNR Paranormal, Chris Smith. It's going to be a good time. Russell, I should DM you, but yeah, I was glad that you left the other channel you were part of. Besides you, I got the impression much to offer. Yeah, if you want to message me on that, I mean, uh, I don't want to really dive into that. I mean, I love KD and Katie, so that had, with me leaving, it had nothing to do with those two or Greg Koss. Just put it that way, and that's what I'm just gonna leave it at that. Um, but I love Supernatural Inc. Those guys, KD and Katie, are awesome. Brandon's awesome. I'm not gonna say any more than that. But so is Greg. Greg Koss is an awesome guy. Definitely check out his shows that he does each week. The When Spirit Connects, where they do their Estes methods. Even Mariner Spirit. Check out his shows; they're pretty awesome. But yeah, that's kind of a stuff I do not want to discuss on my podcast because it's gonna bring a whole bunch of drama, and I don't want. So if you want to DM me later about it, that's fine. I'll answer your questions, but I'm not gonna put this out publicly. I don't need that drama, so I just rather stay away from it. I don't like feeding it, so I don't want to be part of it. But yeah. So definitely, again, come check us out in December and come investigate with us. You'll get to go out on a private investigation with us that we're leading. So, and we'll teach you a few things. And so we're gonna get off here for the night. We're gonna get off for the night and get ready to crash for the night. Like I said, we're exhausted. We had a 4 hour, 50-minute ride Friday, and then again today we left. Like I said, we left probably a little after 8 this morning. Got up 8, took a shower, ate breakfast, hotel, said goodbye to our family because they were staying at the same hotel with us. Ran into Wade this morning before we left and said goodbye. So and oh yeah, thank you for coming on each week and supporting the podcast and stuff. And before I leave, like I always say, if you're being bullied in the paranormal field, you have a voice. Feel free to reach out to us. We'll listen. No judgment here. Um, Make sure you still support my family, Nesper. Go see them in at Scarefest again, Annabelle's last stop. As she will not be out on the road anymore after this year, so it is done. Um, but I know Nesper will still be active. They'll still be helping families and doing cases and stuff. So if you're in that area, you have an issue, don't hesitate to call them for help. So with that being said, everybody have a good night. We will be back next Saturday, same time, same channel. Um, we love you all our viewers. Again, thank you to everybody who came out to the Rock Island Paracon and everybody that made it possible. And to Candy Slater, Lisa Veneer, Rob and Sarah from Get Haunted, Kaylee, everybody who had their hand in the Rock Island Paracon, we thank you. Thank you for the invite. And again, we thank everybody for coming out and supporting us and supporting the Warrens Occult Museum, Nesper, all the great vendors that were out there and teams. And you too, Granzer. I bring you information from the dark side of the planet. Russell Reynolds. Yeah, that's a pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool catchphrase. Um, so yeah, definitely thank you everyone for tuning in tonight, and we will see you next week. God bless. Stay safe out there, and have fun. And we'll catch you next week. Have a good night, everyone. God bless.